Hey guys, what's up? I am here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, or you could call it the 7 Deadly Sins, on chapter 342. Now, this chapter right here was really interesting here and there, and not too bad. Not to mention, a little small news announcement. The last volume of Nanatsu no Taizai should come out sometime this May or sometime this year at most. I mean, I got the news from a source that we all should know by now if we've been part of the anime manga community for a long time. But aside from that, being off topic, this chapter right here, wow, dude. Cath is a whole different level of what the heck, you know? So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Cath, who was obliterated to pieces, ends up reconstructing itself, while the 7 Deadly Sins are really surprised to see it this way, you know? And we see to it that Cath tells Arthur, "Why are you so shocked that your kingdom and people is gone? Do you not understand? Even if the 7 Deadly Sins have not fought each other, your kingdom of yours will still face eradication, since I myself will lay waste upon it, and if not by me, someone would do it else. Heck, even if nobody did, a simple meteor will come crashing down the world and destroy it. That alone, or a freaking rising ocean would take care of it." And we see to it that Arthur tells Cath, "What are you even talking about? Are you..." And we see to it that Cath says, "We are all the same." How are we even the same? And Cath continues to talk by saying, "You guys should really give up what you can. Your struggles won't stop the inevitable death that awaits you all. Humans, animals, kingdoms, forests, lakes, rivers, and even the gods themselves." And Arthur's like, "Is that the reason why? Is that your reasoning to eat me?" He said, "Yes. Why do you think so?" And we see to it that the 7 Deadly Sins gets ready to fight once more against Cath, but we get to see a scene that they end up fighting Cath and struggle to do so, you know? And we see to it that eventually Merlin will actually freeze Cath in its place, and they end up, oh, look at that. His wounds stop closing up here and there. And Merlin explains that she froze time. However, the spell seems to be unstable, so because of the effects of chaos, you know? We see too that Merlin explains that this beast will very likely break free and reawaken itself in a not too distant future. I'm unsure about the exact time though. And we see to it that Elizabeth and Millie Otis says, "We'll deal with it when the time comes," you know? And by the time everyone goes home, we see to it that Arthur and Merlin went their separate ways from the 7 Deadly Sins, and all of a sudden we get to see a wedding scene with Millie Otis and Elizabeth, you know, and some of their friends being there. But apparently, like, the 7 Deadly Sins aren't really there at all, you know? And we see a scene with Millie Otis and Elizabeth conversating with each other, and that they talk about how if everyone was still here, it would have been great. But, you know, Elaine just became the guardian saint of the fairy realm, and she can't step out of it, you know? On top of that, the fairy king and the queen of the giants are having their marriage within the fairy realm. And we see to it that Millie Otis also explains that Gother and Hark also went on their separate ways. It's never easy to find time these days. As for Arthur and Merlin, they're probably rebuilding Camelot right now. And we see to it that Bond eventually died, and Elaine was at his side to the very end. As for Diane and King, they have not returned from the fairy realm yet, you know? And eventually we go to a time skip where Elizabeth grows old, and she ends up telling Millie Otis, "I'm so happy that I had to leave you by yourself, but you know, these 3,000 years was really fun, you know? And this is my truly last day." And we see to it that Millie Otis gets a bad news report from a soldier, and we see to it that Cath does return and ends up facing Millie Otis, but Millie Otis is all by himself. He goes like, "Long time no see. What's with that look, huh? Oh, I see now. They're all dead. Is that it?" And Millie Otis activates his demon mark and clashes against Cath. He says, "What is with you? How could something like this bother you? Do you not understand? You should have died that day with everyone else. Instead, you are burdened with pain, grief, and sadness all by yourself. You have no comrades with you, and why do you even bother to keep fighting, huh? Just give up already. Nothing is ever permanent in this stupid, chaotic world. The time will come when the people you know will be reduced to dust and be blown away, leaving not a single trace of their existence. But all of a sudden, Millie Otis was later on convinced by the spirit of his friends to keep going, you know? We are always by your side. Even though our bonds will never fade, no matter how much time passes. And all of a sudden, it was actually an illusion by Cath. It was really surprising. I mean, however, when Millie Otis wakes up, he realizes, hey, was this a hallucination or was it really something else? But Arthur, who somehow got out of it too because he has the chaos power within him, tells Millie Otis, not quite. It's a vision of a possible future that is yet to be set in stone. And we see to it that Millie Otis asked, hey, Arthur, can you hold out for a bit? He says, yeah, but we need to find a way to defeat this thing. But Cath says, it's futile. You know very well you can't kill me. Arthur will be eaten by me. I shall become the embodiment of chaos, and I will devour everything. And Arthur realizes, wait a minute, I'm starting to get it now. I know how to defeat you, and we see to it that Arthur gets ready to fight against Cath, and Millie Otis gets ready to fight with Arthur to fight against Cath, while Cath goes on with the attack. And the next chapter is called Eternal Kingdom. But aside from that, there is no chapter. I'm afraid there won't be any chapter next week, I guess, since there's a rough translation saying that Nanatsu no Taizai will be on break next week. But it looks like to me Arthur might have a way to defeat Cath, etc. But yeah. Anyways, Cath seems a total different antagonist or villain or something. I mean, not really different at all. I guess it's something that we all seen many times already, and we've seen it everywhere in multiple entertainment media series, you know. It looks like Cath doesn't seem to like... It seems like he hates life in general, possibly. Maybe because, like, you guys are gonna die eventually. What's the point of this? You should have died that day. Blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna end everything right here and now by becoming the embodiment of chaos and devour everything. I don't know what's with Cath's obsession with that, but it looks like to me he brings up somewhat of a point, you know, like nothing's ever permanent in a chaotic world, you know. And I won't deny that. I mean, the world we live in, it's never gonna be permanent. It's only temporary. Your life could be lost the next day, the next second, or the next minute, you know. But yeah, okay. Enough of me being all freaking like gloomy and pessimistic of how the world is. Cath ends up trying to say like ends up having to like talk about like how life is so temporary and you guys are just gonna fade away and never exist in the moment you die whatsoever. And Cath, every time they try to obliterate Cath with all they got, he will just keep on regenerating. Talk about some crazy immortal monster, right? I mean, damn, dude. Talk about some crazy immortal monster. Not to mention he made a hallucination or showed Millie Otis a future vision that he managed to get himself out of. The others, however, they're stuck in that situation and can't seem to like get out of it yet. While Arthur and Millie Otis managed to get out, and Arthur realizes there's a way to defeat Cath, but we'll have to see. I mean, yeah. Cath, man. I mean, this guy was very I knew this guy could be terrifying, but dang. They keep obliterating him almost all the time, but he ends up coming back somehow. I guess eating that arm that he got from Arthur with the fragment of chaos within him really gave him that crazy boost of strength. Not to mention having to show Millie Otis and everyone else a vision that could be possibly set in stone, and Millie Otis fights Cath all by himself. Man, that's too sad. We'll have to see. Anyways, looking hopefully to see the next chapter. Hopefully, we don't know how. And yeah. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.